What's happening, everybody? It's the Flow Show. I'm your host, Sean McLaughlin. He's your other host, Steve Straza. Straza, good weekend? Did you have a good weekend?
Great weekend. How about you?
I had a fantastic weekend, at least in terms of basketball. The Denver Nuggets flipped the script hardcore on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Everybody was anointing the Timberwolves as the number one favorite to win the championship about 3-4 days ago, and whoo, there's a big 180 now.
It's funny how fast that changes. The Knicks flipped the script as well, but we're moving in the opposite direction.
Yeah, the opposite. That series tied 2-2 also, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Knicks fans, it's been fun. We suck again.
All right, look, Shaq and Barkley do this better than we do, so we should probably move on to our lane. Let's talk stocks here. So this is the Flow Show for people who are new here. What me and Straza do is we walk you through our process of how we come up with trade ideas. Straza and his team of analysts here at All Star Charts do a great job of surfacing actionable ideas in the stock market. And what Straz and I do here is we take those actionable stock market ideas and see if there's an options play that can be done here for those of you who are options junkies like me. So Straza told me right before we went live that he's got a surprise for me. So I'm excited to see what this surprise is. So why don't you take it away, Straza?
Do you know what my favorite list is lately? We have lots of lists. When I
If I
say
had to
list,
guess, I'm going to say the short squeeze list.
well, you didn't make that any fun. You knew, and it's this environment,
Well, I
right?
mean, yeah, I mean that's the environment we're in. I mean, that's a great list to be fishing in right now.
We've been talking about the Trump meme coin, or I guess it's actually a stock.
We
We've been
can
talking
call it a
about
meme coin. It fits.
we were talking about Pepe the Frog this morning. Cannabis stocks had their best day in history a few weeks ago. This is just the kind of environment, right? The tape is getting increasingly offensive, increasingly risk on. I would say the animal spirits are alive and well out here. We talked about GameStop. I don't know if we did it on this show. I was trying to find out when we covered this. It was early last week. We just talked about how back here, everybody knows what it's doing today, but back here on May 2nd and 3rd, it had its best back-to-back days, best performance in consecutive trading days since the GameStop fiasco, short squeeze fiasco from back here in 2020, 2021. Right. What are we seeing today? Best day since, boy, February of 2021, right? So GameStop is up 62% here. Everybody's talking about it. We know the tweet that was heard all around the fintech world from Roaring Kitty last night. But it's not just GameStop. This whole list, Sean, is really hot. I don't know if you know this, but the one you mentioned to me just before we came on, also a heavily shorted name, Rocket. So we can go on down the line. I've sorted it by just today's percentage change, but we probably want one that's not up 60% in a day like GameStop, right? So what do you think of this theme? Go through some of these names?
Yeah,
There's
let's
some.
see them.
Okay. Biotech. Not many look
So
like
wait,
this.
let's be clear. This is most of these names. The one thing they have in common is they're heavily shorted. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep.
Excellent, excellent. That's what I like to hear.
So these all have a short interest in the high teens or higher, and most of them have some pretty high days to cover ratios too. At least a couple days, some 10 double digits in the case of GameStop. So this is Twist Biosciences, hefty short interest here, breaking out a new 52-week highs. Other biotechs don't look like this, so this is a big leader. The hardest part about this, Sean, will be making sure that they all have liquid options markets.
You just took the words right out of my mouth. I'm looking at that setup and I love it. And I'm looking into the options chain and it's a tough one. There's not a lot of trading going on in these options.
All right, let's go. Let's move on down the line.
Okay.
Zim got long this one last week. We talked about it on Stock Market TV. 15 was really that level, so probably want to be patient on this one now. Let me just pull up the RSI. Yeah, when RSI is at 85, and we talked about on the morning show today, an overbought momentum reading in a stock like GameStop, if you're really trying to trade that way, shouldn't scare you away. But at the same time, I'm not looking at an 85 momentum score, the highest in several years, in the case of Zim, and saying, "Oh, I want to buy this right here, right now, today." Right. So
Yeah, this would
fine
be a
line.
tough buy today.
Agreed.
I mean, it
So
was it was $14 3 days ago, and now it's almost 19.
You'll see the cryptos on this list, right? Our old favorite crypto vehicles, MicroStrategy, CleanSpark, JetBlue's on here. Oh, this one's nice, Sean. We'll do Wayfair and then we'll look at Rocket. Sean loves Rocket Mortgage. Uh, Wayfair. You hear what I was saying on the show today?
Yeah, that looks like a good setup here, and volatility is pretty muted. So if we wanted to keep it simple, we could just buy some calls here, I think. At least at first blush. Let me look at I mean, plenty of liquidity in Wayfair options, so that's no trouble.
And I think we're just about there. I mean, like you got to see the breakout, but for me, you could draw right through this August 23 little blow off. 74 is really the level here. I'll flip to a line chart just to show the
And we're there right now, right at 74.
Yeah, so right, I care more about these touches. This one really didn't work out. A little strength at this level. I don't know.
If this thing were to get going, let's think about, like, I don't know, end of year time frame into December.
Mhm.
What kind of move do you think this has the potential to do? You think I mean, it could, do you think it could rip through 100? It probably could, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let me
Because
see.
there's a lot. This is one of those weird situations where, you look at the implied volatility chart, and the volatility is relatively low. But then when you look at out of the money options in December, I mean, the 100 strike calls are trading at just shy of $8.
I'm thinking 120. If you measure the base out, you get 120.
Well, in December, unfortunately, right now, the highest strike that I see is 105.
Wow.
Let me look on a different platform. Sometimes like I use, and I'm not shitting on any platform. Sometimes I use Thinkorswim and I use Tasty Trade, and sometimes I notice that Tasty Trade will have more strikes than Thinkorswim and vice versa, which is weird to me. I don't know why that's the case, but let me just double check here. So I'm looking at December Wayfair options on my other platform, and yeah, I see the same. It's 105 is the highest strike, but even at 105, those calls are trading for $7 right now, which makes me think that there might be an opportunity here to sell those calls. Play this with a vertical spread, right? So you like a bull call spread where we buy the at the money or slightly out of the money calls and sell the 105s against it to lower our cost of participation and
Yep.
create a higher probability trade. So for example, in December, if I'm looking at if I buy the 75 calls, which are just out of the money, and sell that 105 strike, which is the highest available strike, that's a $30 wide spread. We could buy it right now for about 9.25, maybe 9.50.
Not bad.
Yeah, no, I don't hate that. I mean, I don't necessarily subscribe to this rule of thumb, but there's a lot of people in the options trading world that they say that the rule of thumb in buying or selling an at the money call spread is that you want to you want to pay no more than a third of the width of the spread. So if the most of the spread can be worth is $30, you don't want to pay more than 10. And
Well,
this would fit the bill. Looks like we can get it for under 950. Um, this is a trade I like. I'd be curious to know if you have any others, but I mean,
yeah.
this is an interesting trade to me for sure.
So how would we make money in this one? What would be the ideal kind of path forward for price?
Um, I think the way I would envision this playing out for us is that I mean, we don't really have we can't really call it $100 roll because this stock did trade above 100 before,
Yeah.
so it wouldn't be a classic $100 roll. But I could see the stock making that run towards 100 and
I think
overshooting
so.
as it typically does.
Sean, 22% short interest, 4 to 5 days to cover. The base is just completing. We're giving it 7 months.
Yeah. I think this is one of those trades where if you have an upside target in mind, Straza, I think you take the trade off when you get that upside target. I mean, it's got to be, I would say, above 105, which is our short strike.
I like 120 for target. You measure this base out, and I'm just back on the napkin here, right? Like 29 to 74, tack on another 45 points there. It's about 120, right?
Yeah, and the nice thing too, Straza, is that let's say it gets to 110.
Mm,
Okay. Not
mm,
quite at our target, but not really pulling back either. Maybe it consolidates just below that target.
yeah.
Well, if we had a spread on like this where we're long the 75 calls and short the 105s, at that point, when we're above 105, we actually have theta working in our favor as we get closer and closer to expiration. As long as we're above 105, the value of that spread will actually increase because all the premium is in that short call at 105, which is going to lose premium as the days go by. Now, if we get to 105, in a month, the theta decay is not going to be all that drastic because we have until December. But it's nice to know that, if we're north of, I would say even if we're north of $100 a share, then all of a sudden this long, this spread that we paid a debit for all of a sudden converts into a positive theta trade, right? Where you're getting paid to wait. I like it. This is and I mean, the fact that it has such a huge short interest. I mean, Straza, that I love those types of setups. So, I mean, I'm happy to put this one on the board.
All right, put it on the board, and we're going to do another one that looks similar because
Ooh.
these bases and this one, notice how, yes, it looks similar to Wayfair. These bases have been very good to us. These are the patterns we've been buying, right? You like the line chart here? I'm kind of into the line chart. We'll flip back to candles. But you see momentum's in a bullish regime. I would say the base breakout really happened way back here around 10, $11, right? So,
Well, good news, Straza, is not only do I agree with you on Rocket, but I'm already in. I got in last week.
you did.
I did.
When?
Let's see. We did Flow Show on Tuesday last week, right?
Did we talk about Rocket on Flow Show last week?
I think I did it on Monday.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
remember.
Nice.
I mean, I could find out. Hold on.
Look at this
I will
chart.
find out for you.
This is great. So you got the base breakout, slow move out of this base, right? We've really been sideways since December. That's normal. This is a, multi-year trend reversal pattern, rounding bottom, whatever you want to call it. So you got a little base on base action. That's fine. We're above any VWAP, right, that you could anchor from the past few years now. So this one's really looking good. I think you get confirmation right here around $15. How did you do this?
Yeah, you know what? We got in on Monday. So I got in this without you, buddy. That's why I've surprised you with this.
Wow.
Yeah. I bought the September 15 calls. I paid $1.30 for them.
Uh-huh.
And so far so good.
Right.
I mean, those calls are trading right now at $1.55. So, it's going in the right direction.
What strike is it? September
The
what?
15 strike.
Yeah, nice. Slightly out of the money. All right. Okay. That's all I got then. Let's do the Wayfair. I like the Wayfair. It's nice.
No, I definitely like the Wayfair. I mean, if for no other reason, I love short squeeze names right here. We've been talking about it for the last couple of weeks, especially you and me. JC's been, coming around the bend slowly on this, but you and I have been all about these short squeezes. And in this type of market, and now, I mean, you guys talked about it in the morning show this morning. When you see things like GameStop reawakening, and you seeing all the nerds coming out of the woodwork and Reddit firing up again, talking about all these short squeeze names. You got that Donald Trump thing going on. I mean, it's starting to smell to me that all the crazies are coming back. They're ready for a hot summer. And these are the stocks we want to play in that type of environment.
The animal spirits have returned, but it's not bear market stuff. Any of these things.
Nope, not at all.
And we're not surprised to see GameStop up. I mean, sure, he made the tweet and it was up like 100% at one point, but we've been talking about these squeeze names for a few weeks now, and they're really, really erupting here again. So I think Wayfair is a good one. I think Rocket's a good one. We thought Carvana was a good one. Still kicking myself over the Carvana.
I know, me too, man. We got shaken out of that one. That sucks.
It's been like one after the next. So we're going to keep talking about this list on here. I also think that, Sean, while maybe this isn't the case all the time, I think this list lends itself well to some fun option strategies in bull markets. You could
For sure. All right. Well, to recap, we like Wayfair. We like December options, buying the 75 calls and shorting the 105 calls against it, creating a bull call spread. I'm looking at the markets. It's markets are moving. The bid ask spread is a little wide, but it looks like we can get into it for under $9 right now. I love that. I mean, really, any price under 10, I like it. I like it even more under 9. So that's a trade I'm going to put on. I like it. Maybe we should in full completeness, Straza. Do we have a level that we think invalidates our thesis? I mean, I would think
Yeah,
maybe
it's super tight.
65.
No, I think that's way too much, right? Because we don't want we this is a directional bet. We want this to move up and to the right. And if it's not, and if it's going to be stuck back in this box, it's probably just opportunity cost. I think you keep it real tight, and we have these the shelf of pivot highs right here. Right there around 69.50.
69.50.
Yeah,
Okay.
because you have the December high there and the March high there. If we're back below a couple bucks lower, yeah, I think you want to be done.
All right.
Range.
Yeah, the way me personally, I will do it is yeah, I think your stop makes sense in that 68 to 69 level. And then also I would have a secondary stop just on the value of the spread, right? If I pay $9 for it, if it somehow loses value and it's down to 450, which is half of what I paid, that's usually when I'll look to exit and just protect what's left. So I have two stops, two ways, two outs. Meanwhile, 120 is our profit target. If we get to 120, we'll take the whole thing off, book the profit. It'll be a nice profit at that point. How much it is depends on how close we are to expiration. Yeah, I like it.
Short interest north of 20%. You'd be surprised how fast this thing could hit 120 if this is a valid reversal pattern.
Well, you and I won't be surprised, but some of you out there who've never played a short squeeze before might be surprised.
All right, book it.
Book it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's been the Flow Show. Me and Straza do this every Monday, 11:30 Eastern. Tune in. We'll do this again next week. Oh, no, we won't do it next week. Sorry, programming alert. The whole team will be in California doing some offsite team building and planning and analyzing and all that good stuff. So we won't be doing this live next Monday. So let's get that out of the way right now. But after that, every Monday, that's what we like to do.
We'll be back. All right. Good stuff.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time. Until then, see you on the morning show tomorrow.